For the German twisted cast-on, we need a yarn tail. So you can either just guess how long of a tail you might need, or you can use this little technique to estimate the yarn tail length. So to do that, take the end of your yarn and the needle you're going to use and hold on to the yarn with your thumb. And then you're going to start wrapping this around the needle. And each time you wrap it around the needle, that's 2, 3. Each time you're wrapping it around the needle, that's about 1 stitch worth of yarn that will be needed for the tail. So I'm going to do 10. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And from there, I can hold on to where that yarn was once it was wrapped around 10 times. And so that's about 10 stitches worth of yarn tail. I want to double that. If I double it, I have enough yarn to make about 20 stitches. And from there, I will add a little bit extra for a yarn tail because we want to have a long enough yarn tail to be able to weave in at the end of our project, and for good luck, just a tiny bit more. Now, we can do a couple different things. I'm going to show you how to do a slip knot here, and that slip knot can act as the first stitch. In order to do that, you're going to hold on to the yarn, just hold on to it here. This is the yarn tail down here, and this goes to the yarn source. I'm going to wrap this yarn around my 2 fingers, and then I'm going to bring this yarn up through the loop that I just created on my 2 fingers. Take my fingers out, and so that is a slip knot. So we can tighten that up, and when you pull on the strand that goes from here to the yarn source, it will close up that loop. And if you pull too much, boop, it'll go away. So let's do it again. Wrap the yarn around the 2 fingers, pull the yarn that's going to the yarn source back up through the loop you just created, and then snug that up. So there we go. I have my slip knot and I'm ready to go. The next step would be to put my needle into that loop, into the slip knot, and then snug it up. And I'm just pulling on gently the yarn that's going to the yarn source. And so there's my first stitch on my needle. And this is how the yarn is laid out. This is the yarn tail. This one is going to the source of yarn. So you want to keep them in that order. And from there, I will lay it in the palm of my hand, hold on to both of those strands, and then I'll put my index finger and my thumb in between the 2 strands, get a little closer to the tip of my needle, and I'm going to hold on to this with my thumb and pull down. And that is the slingshot. Okay, so one more time, just hold on to both strands of yarn, put my index finger and my thumb through that loop like this, hold on to the slip knot that's on my needle already, and pull down gently. That is the slingshot. Now to do the German twisted cast-on, it's pretty simple. We're going to go under both of the strands that are around the thumb, and then I'm going to go down into this space between those 2 strands, so down here, and then bring the point of the needle towards me. Then I'm going to come around and grab this yarn, and that's going to be my stitch that will complete. So I'm going to go around and grab that. And then from there, if I move my thumb around, you see how I did that? I'm wrapping my thumb around. It opens up this loop all the way so I can pull the needle through, let the loop fall off of my thumb, and then tighten up, and I have a stitch. And every stitch or 2, you might need to reorient your slingshot again. I'll show you how to do this again. Under both strands, down into the loop that's on my thumb, bring the point of the needle towards me, swing around and grab the strand that's on my index finger. You can swing your thumb all the way around and then pull that yarn through the loop and off. I'm going to do this a different way. Same setup. Under both strands on my thumb, then down into the loop on my thumb between the 2 strands, bring the needle towards me. Then I'm going to go grab this strand of yarn. And you see how those two yarns just crossed right here, that little section? That's where I want my needle to go. That's under that cross is where we're trying to go. So if you don't want to twist your thumb like this, you can just do that. Let's do that one more time. Under both strands on the thumb, down into the loop that's on my thumb, all the way around to grab this bit of yarn. And then you see that cross. That's where I'm bringing the tip of my needle, letting this loop off of my thumb and snugging it up. So now I have 5 stitches. Let's do it a few more times. It takes a little bit of practice to do this, but once you do get it figured out, it is really, really a wonderful cast on. So under both strands on the thumb, down into the loop on my thumb, all the way around to grab the index finger yarn, and then through that little cross there and off. So that's 2, 4, 6. And it's one smooth movement once you get used to it. And you'll be doing this before you know it without even thinking about it. Now, you might say, why do I want to do this type of cast on instead of the traditional longtail cast on? Well, because of this little twist that we're adding in, it adds a little bit extra stretch to the cast on itself, and it makes for a great, cuff of a sleeve or brim of a hat or the top of a sock, that kind of thing. So I hope that this is helpful. If so, make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and I will continue to be making these videos to help you understand these different techniques.